How do you build the perfect roster for round 12 and how can you maximize your score in the first major bye round? Welcome back, guys. I'm Longy, got Monty here too. And we're going to be talking about round 12 where Origin players don't play and only your starting 13 counts. Now, Monty, you're in the green there. I'm in the yellow. We've got pretty similar teams, couple of differences. You excited for this one?
I'm very excited. I said that there's a couple similarities which I like, but then I'm just having a look straight away. I've got Aaron Clark in my mids and Brayley at hooker, whereas you've got Aaron Clark at hooker. Would you mind talking me through that?
Yeah, I mean, look, Clark obviously is a great option here. So I think his run is going to continue for a bit longer. Fisher Harris comes back. That threatens the minutes for sure. But we're seeing Ford now out with a HIA this week, and Mitch Barnett is a very solid Origin chance for next week. So this is assuming that Mitch Barnett does make Origin, which does protect the minutes for Clark. If Barnett doesn't make Origin, he probably still makes this perfect team, but I do think that bumps him down maybe 5 points in my projections there. You've gone Brayley. I don't have Brayley. What are you thinking here?
Now it's Roosters versus Sharks, and I think Roosters will probably lose Watson, Crichton, maybe Lindsay Collins. I reckon the middle will be shot. And this year, Brayley's seemed to have boosted up his floor. He's making mid 40 tackles a game, and I reckon against this depleted Roosters forward pack, he's going to be very attacking, and I reckon could grab a few attacking stats.
He's a safe option there because we've both gone Tarpane and McInnes, right? So they're locked in for us. Neither of us took the bet on Fanua Blake. I would think about it, by the way, against depleted forward pack for the Roosters, but I just haven't seen that from him. And he's had Parramatta and Manly the last 2 weeks where he should have shown out. So we've gone McInnes, Tarpane. They're both rock solid. Tarpane's averaging like 62. McInnes just gets his work done, set and forget. I've gone Nafahu White instead of Brayley here, which is an interesting toss-up. I think Brayley is that safer, sort of more guaranteed for 50 type option. But I look at Nafahu White, and just as you mentioned, no Spencer Leniu, no Lindsay Collins, no Angus Crichton, no Nat Butcher. We're going to see Nafahu White play that big role he was playing at the start of the year and potentially have to step up against this Cronulla pack where I think he could go 60 plus. So I've got him with a higher upside than Brayley.
Yeah, and as we were saying at the start of the year, when Roosters are down, he can have that upside. If he can get that 50-minute roll, be 100%. I mean, it's not a bad option. He's got the jewel, so you could slide him in there, but I reckon I'm going to back Aaron Clark in my mids all day, every day.
Got to back your boy. And we both gone Zach Hosking here. I'm just trying to think, what's his matchup? I don't think it really matters. Like, we just like Hosking, but he's got the Warriors there, so it's not an easy matchup at all. I think, though, he'll get through some work and has attacking upside in that spot.
Yeah, and I think I went into a bit of a deep dive. I think last year or in his career when he plays 50-plus minutes in the back row, he averages 55. And in this Raiders team, playing outside Fogarty, I believe, he's got that attacking upside where he can score a couple tries, as we've seen.
Yeah, he's a scorcher. Then we go KPP versus Olakau'atu. Now, this is assuming Olakau'atu doesn't make the Origin side. I reckon you've taken a few more risks than I have with Origin selections. That's going to be funny to look at here. But for KPP versus Olakau'atu, I think it's safety versus ceiling a bit here.
Yeah.
So KPP really doesn't score below 40. Olakau'atu has that monstrous upside. It's a bit different there. I'll talk through KPP first, then you can talk about Olakau'atu. But for KPP, I just think he's going to get his work done. Like, he's going to get his work done. The Knights are playing good footy. They're missing a few players in this one as well. Their opposition, the Panthers. So the Panthers are missing Isaiah Yeo, Liam Martin, Nathan Cleary, Dylan Edwards, Brian To'o. Like, they're going to be a bit scrappy, and they've already struggled this year. So I think KPP has some upside in terms of maybe some attacking stats there, but I also think Panthers will come in with a simple game plan, so a lot of tackles for him too. What are you thinking with Olakau'atu?
Olakau'atu, they're coming up against Parramatta. And Olakau'atu, the past few weeks, he's been honestly very quiet. Like, he hasn't been that, that Olakau'atu that we always used to seeing. And I assume it might be Jacob Arthur in the halves if DC gets picked. I reckon Olakau'atu, he's just got that upside. And against Parramatta, if they do lose Mitchell Moses, I feel like they'll be very weak. Parramatta defending quite a lot. So I just think Olakau'atu, we could see a 60-plus, 65-plus game from him.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play. I don't mind that shout. I think KPP is going to outscore him, but let's see how these go. And then we got Katoa and Hines. Both of us have those two in the halves. We've both taken them over Fogarty. Now, I'll speak to Katoa. You can speak to Hines, maybe, because you've got a couple of Cronulla players here, so you're backing them in. But for Katoa, it's been a 56 average. He's pumping out great base stats. He's got a 70 last week with no attacking stats. He's got the Dogs in this game. Dogs have been missing a few players, but I think it's going to be a good game. And I think good games bring out the best in Isaiah Katoa. So I think he's just got a bit more of an upside play than Fogarty does because he runs the ball a bunch more than Fogs.
Yeah, Fogarty's someone he definitely, if you could have an 18th man in this team, he'd definitely be there. But yeah, Katoa and Hines, they can go nuclear. As we saw last week, Katoa got 70 without an attacking start. I think 1 try assist he had. So it's just, Fogarty's safe for that 50, 55. Whereas these two, Hines we haven't seen it in a while, but he can score at 70. Katoa can score at 70. So
are you backing him? Because you've got Hines and Brayley in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm backing the Sharks Sharks don't lose anyone. Sharks are my tip to go potentially undefeated throughout this Origin period. They won't be missing anyone. So I think Sharks put on a score against the Roosters.
Yeah, big shout. Or maybe I should put Fanua Blake back in this team. But and then we roll through to the center pairing. So we both gone Dylan Lucas, Herbie Farmworth. Look, this is rock solid. Most teams aren't going to have this, by the way. Most teams will have someone like Tamale, Rob Toya, and they're probably going to be running Lucas in the back row spot. Maybe like there's a bit of a mix up there. But I think these two are the guys. And, we talk about the Knights there. They've got a pretty good matchup in this one against the Panthers. Again, I think they'll be a bit fragile. Lucas gets through his work. And the Dolphins have the Dogs. No Stephen Crichton, most likely. I'm trying to think if Herbie attacks Crichton's edge or Zeri.
Crichton's edge, yes.
Crichton's edge, there we go. Yeah, so he'll have a backup there as well.
And I think these two centers could be potential captain options next week with their matchup. So it's very, there's going to be quite a few pod captains floating around, which will be nice to see.
That'll be fun. That'll be super fun. I mean, they're both be fun ones to captain. Then wing fullback, we've both gone a few of the same ones. I think we've gone a bit potty here, actually. Ruben Garrick's really commonly owned, but the sentiment towards him is very negative right now after a couple of quieter games. What are you thinking here? You're a Manly fan. I'll let you speak on him first.
See, I mean, I've kind of picked Garrick based on the fact that Turbo misses out, I think, on the wing spot.
Okay.
And that's why I've gone James Sesko as well, because I think Edwards has won that spot and Teddy just needs to be Teddy for the Roosters to win. We've seen it this year. I think you had a stat. His Anzac Day try was his first try of the year.
Yeah.
And
9 in 7 games before that.
It's just crazy for Teddy. So I've gone Garrick based on the fact that Turbo is picked.
Wow. Okay.
He isn't picked for Origin, I should say, because Garrick, although last week was it was a dead game, but I think against his Parramatta team, Manly love to show up against Parramatta, a bit of a rivalry there. So I back Garrick, and then Teddy, obviously, he's James Tedesco this year. He's just set and forget.
Yeah. See, I steered clear of Teddy myself. Teddy and Karaz as well, who would be well in my conversation. I just think that Origin risk is too strong with those guys. So I've left them out. I think Turbo is a guarantee not to make it pretty much. He did not look good at all last week. Doesn't look super fit. And that's fine. We know what Turbo can do. It's not a diss on him. He just doesn't look fit. But I think he'll not get picked and he'll take that personally. And Parramatta will be a bit of a punching bag for him. If Moses gets picked, Lomax gets picked as well. We're missing Bailey Simonson. Our forward pack's a bit depleted too. Turbo and Garrick. I've gone with both those guys. And the thing with Turbo here is he's going to be like $450K when we get to this, which is absurd.
It'd be super hard not to bring him in.
You bring him in.
He's
going to be on the buy list. It's not even going to be a pod. It's going to be a buy. Outright buy next week and buy, hold, sell. And then Fletcher Sharp's the last one here. Match up against the Panthers. Again, we talked about it. I think Knights should be favourites in that game, which is saying a lot with how the Knights have been playing recently. But there's plenty of opportunities here. So we've backed a couple of Knights in. We've both got Lucas and Sharp. I've gone KPP as well. Would you consider Sharp as a captain option here too? Or
I mean, he's a risky captain option. Yeah. I think it just depends how Panthers play. So they have Blaze Solangi in either Schneider or Cole. Yep. And the way Sharp's going, he just scores points. He'll find a way to, score a try. So I reckon it's not a bad shout. It's definitely risky. Yep. But if you want to chase it, I mean, by all means go for it. I wouldn't steer you away from captaining Fletcher Sharp.
Let's talk captains right now because and I want us both to pick a captain and a vice captain by the end of this. But I think options, if I'm going to talk through a few of them, Aaron Clark is definitely an option. If Mitch Barnett is selected, he's got that 60 sort of average there, when they're missing guys. Tarpanay, absolute beast, definitely an option there. Good matchup as well. I don't think McInnes, White, Brayley are really options there. Hosking is a high upside option, but a bit risky. KPP, Olakawatu, a bit risky. You're going to probably jump on those guys. Isaiah Katoa, Nico Hines, not quite there for me. I just don't think they've shown that nuclear upside that justifies the risk of them scoring 35 to 40. Whereas Dylan Lucas and Herbie Farmworth, that's where I'm kind of thinking about it. And I think if I'm going to give you my captain here, I'm probably saying Herbie Farnworth. Like, that's probably where I'm jumping on. I just think if Stephen Crichton is selected, Jacob Kraz is selected, it's going to be a whole new edge there. Dogs are still missing a bunch of forwards as well. I think they'll be fragile. I think Herbie Farnworth will step up.
Yeah, I agree. I think I said it. I think last week in our buy video with Turtle.
Yeah.
That Herbie could be my captain and most likely will be my captain. But then I don't mind Tarpanay as well.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are versing the Warriors, so a very middle heavy game.
Yeah.
And I think the way Tarpanay's been playing, there's no reason why he can't score in that mid 70s with ease.
Assuming Horsburgh is selected for Origin,
yeah,
absolutely, I'll pay that. And then I think Lucas is one that's been underrated as well. Like, if I was going to give you my favorite for captain, like who I'm probably going to captain, it probably is Lucas. I'll look at the matchups a bit more deeply, but Lucas is on the left there, so he'll be up against Schneider and
I believe Papali'i.
Yeah,
Martin selected.
If he's so Schneider and Papali'i, bit of a new combination. Lucas is very quick. Papali'i's been playing in the middle, so he's not quite as movable as he used to be. I would love him to be up against, by the way, Sorensen and Blaze there, which is KPP's matchup, which is part of why I've selected. But Lucas, I will say though, he gets to 45-50 without doing anything basically. Like he's working hard, but nothing special. Yeah. And then the special stats come as well. He's an attacking genius. So if Ponga was not selected for Origin, I'd probably go Lucas and just back the Knights to have a big game.
Yeah, I agree. And that I wouldn't be surprised if they keep the Knights go left that whole time against Penrith. If Ponga, Best, Lucas, I mean, if Marzio was selected, I probably would put him in this team against the Panthers. But
which player would you take out for Marzio if you were taking one out?
Oh, see, it's tough. I might move Lucas up to my edge, but then I don't know who to drop. It's like I'd loop 100% if I could.
Yeah.
But this Knights team, there's no reason why Lucas Sharp can't easily score in the 50s.
Yeah, big shout. Well, that's us done for round 12, guys. So these are our perfect teams. Look, my team doesn't look much like this at all. I'm missing, half of these players when it comes to my team. Well, I could end up having about 10 from my side, so that's pretty solid. Here. You're in the same spot.
Yeah.
So I will say, guys, don't tear your team apart for these perfect sides. Like it's one round 12. But I think this was a fun way of sort of sharing who we think is going to be the top scorer next week, and we'll do something similar next week as well. Really look at it and react to those Origin selections. Maybe even do like a rises and fallers type video on the Origin selection, something like that as well. And cheers for jumping on, Monty, and cheers everyone for watching along.